Complexity, as that's the first time they've been kicking things off on the defensive all day.
That's true. Maybe a welcome change of pace for the likes of Complexity, but it's not even like they're being, you know, info blind in this round. You can afford to just chill back when they're making all this noise towards A. And here's the kicker. Everybody's rotated in for Complexity, so if there's any way you're going to hold on this round, it's like this. It's right here and now, but fortunately enough, it's already fallen to a bit of a flat halt. 3 kills instantly fly through, and this was a 5-man sack from Complexity. By the time Saw got up and hit this site, everybody was here, and you know what happens? Absolutely nothing. The North American bloodline seems to be dying out on this pistol fairly quickly.
Yeah, they just got decimated there on every sense of the word. We're not able to deliver anything in reply. So far, not even a singular kill. Fang would like to walk away with a kill or two, so maybe he could save onto his armor here, but that's best case scenario. Worst case is they close this one out in flawless fashion with no struggles here, and that's exactly what happens, man. Coming into the server looking very clean and clinical as Saw.
That's the Saw we need to see if they want to like make any sort of run for playoffs. Honestly, I'm starting to think of the massive implications this game kind of has. Complexity winning this right here would pretty much eliminate Saw from contention, while at the same time, Complexity losing here would be put in a very tricky spot for them to even move forward themselves. Again, there is no flawless team beside Astralis, I believe. Last I missed the comeback happening on the A stream. So, obviously, again, there's still fights to be made for playoffs with everybody, I believe, being 1-1 or 1-2. But, I mean, obviously, Complexity don't want to be in that spot. And losing to 2 teams you shouldn't be losing to is always worrying.
Well, yeah, that's like the dream prospect here for Complexity was that they would be able to open up things with a victory over 500. And then with the way that they just played against Fnatic and then Saul's on the table here, a 3-0 start, I really think that would even potentially guarantee your playoff berth. But instead, with that kind of struggle up against 500, they are put in an interesting territory where they could have lost to teams that maybe they should have been taken down. Maybe they should have been taking care of business a little bit earlier on. Trying to take care of business early on, though, is Complexity with the 3rd round bye, getting those ruffles out as soon as possible.
Oh, my lord. We're trying to take a note out of Complexity's book there. I don't know if you saw that, but they just went for that weird and wonky triple nade.
Yeah.
Didn't work at all, actually, but I like the audacity. I like the attempt.
It's the comfort and the quickness in which Saul start to try and clear out this B side here, and right now it looks like they're really trying to utilize the B side in the early round. They're so committed to it here, and Floppy left with the task of holding steady on the anchoring here, and you know he can do it. This is a tough task. He is very far removed from the site.
Well, this nade could be big depending on the timing. They're going to eat that coming into it. Maybe not as much damage as I would have expected, but it puts 2-player, 1 dinkable range to the A1S. They have full control of the site, though. What is this boost? Olzerk. All right, sure. I thought for sure that was good for 1, but instead it's you jerks good for the 1. And Complexity, I don't even think they want to attempt this retake, man. You've got no utility. You've got no kit. Like, what's really to go for on this retake?
Yeah, you have to find some kills ASAP here, and, well, Floppy not able to find it in time. Complexity not able to find anything here. They're going to bail out as quick as ever. And right now, I feel like, simply put, they just didn't have any presence on this B side. Oftentimes, you know, you will see the aggression attempted here, and maybe players trying to get in your face, you know, offer up some sense of resistance. But Complexity, they started that round with what was essentially a retake setup on that B bomb site. And included in that fact was, you know, no kits in play and very little utility invested.
And, you know, there's another problem they make on that round, too, where it's like Complexity, they do end up going pretty dry in the opening parts on B, but with a map like Vertigo, that's very, like, flank heavy and it's not very retake heavy. It's difficult for CTs to come back into bomb sites. If you're just not taking anything and leaving a site open, you're leaving yourself open for failure. Like, they didn't take ramp, they didn't take mid, they didn't take B, so they essentially just gave Saw all this space to work with and all this time to work with, and then didn't have enough utility to retake, didn't have the manpower to, didn't have any kits for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at the very least, they're going to be able to get some more investment out, try their luck once again in the following round here. And this time they do try and go proactive. They try and reclaim some of this ramp control, and successfully so. Grab a whole lot of space. One-way smoke in reply from Saul, but again, they look to just test the waters back towards B. They've come in with a very clear game plan here. And they want to just test the waters. They want to continue to trial Floppy and how he can hold off this position, because right now he's playing in the exact same spot, doing the exact same thing, and you might expect different results here.
Definition insanity. We know how this plays out, but apparently I don't know how that plays out. Mutis gets caught on the timing for the jump, and now maybe they do have a chance to fend off on this B site's defense. Or maybe not. 2 kills go the opposite direction, not the one the complexity we're hoping for. We're still trying to make a case for this round. Keeping the man advantage as the retake needs to come through. 1 kit in play right now for Grim. With that flashbang now used up, it's all going to fall onto the aim duels and the individual's reliance. So far, so good, though. It's JT to step it up. Talking about not seeing much from him today, and I guess a 3K is a good way to shut me up on that point.
It's a beautiful 3K as well right there. Needing to claw back that round here and calling some interesting strategies in the passive play towards this B side here rather consistently. For the rising of the chairs for North American Counter-Strike. That get us back into this game.
And maybe the rise of the tide for the Americans to try to pull this back too, because they are still down, remember? As much as they like to clown and lounge around, they are still in the deficit right now and need to pull this back. Guns in the favor of Saw, but you can see maybe a bit aggro out of this tech pause with the newly found motivation. Fang, all it took was a little bit of lounging, and he's ready to give him a bruising.
Bruising down ramp right now. This is very aggressive. We saw some attempts at late control. This time it's at the start of the round in which they take a lot of the space here on the ramp side. They do have that presence towards middle. Oh, the slimmest of margins right there. Story had an opportunity but doesn't quite connect on it.
This is still just passive plays around the board over towards ramp, but this time they're not going to be giving it up. Instead, just trying to set up Fang up in the close corner. Halzer falls, and it looks like maybe the lounging got him a bit too relaxed, as JT is so far the only one to find a kill. Maybe it's the lounging problem that actually caused them to potentially lose this round. Even looking for almost a 4K, man. 2 of them are so low, and U-Jerks has yet to leave, knowing he's in the sandbags. What can you do about it? You don't have anything to deal with him. So glance your eyes to the other side of the map where Floppy's just been taken down. Just opened up the B site, and this round actually might fall onto the shoulders of JT. Less Grim can start to pull something back.
So many low HP bars. Grim can certainly do just that, but the number's already punched in here, and he's able to get safe passes there. Crossing in towards the double box. They might look to just take the flank, take the swing, but U-Jerk, he has the flank.
He's got at least one. Grim gets caught pulling the gun back out, and Saw, they get themselves their 4th. Not necessarily in, concurrent, but you'd think after all the lollygag and complexity we're doing, they would have had a plan up their sleeve. Nah. Kind of did the same thing.
Late crunch there in the ramp side there, but there was lacking utility, and they just ended up walking right into that op that they kind of knew was there as well, so it's a bit problematic, and like you said, maybe there's just a little bit too much lollygagging around. Nonetheless, I mean, it might be recovered here. Story, though, again, he's delivering in the impact, and U-Jerk falls up of it. This B site, it falls flat once again.
Well, at least I got rotations in time before things go too far haywire, but I mean, if they don't give Grim any assistance, any hope of winning a round like this is going to be lost. Halzer still sticking around in middle, trying to get some brownie points, and he'll win them. But I can't say the same for Grim and Co. Fang still on the site, still trying to put up a defense. And he's at least shut them down for the time being to force them back into A. Footsteps are heard too, so Halzer's on the rotation, and he's got the op. So best chance situation for them to close out this round is with this big green.
Ooh, misses the flick, though. That's so key there. Down to 21 HP. Goes for seconds, then he will land the second. The follow-up is there, and the escape is made. But it's only now a 2v2, and the numbers have just been punched in.
Now he's got a 50-50 to look at. Another miss comes through. That could have been a big opportunity for complexity, but they still do a rise on it, and that's not a flick. Halzer's gonna miss. 2 on 4, but they bring it back. It only takes the 2 of them. A full house between the lounging men themselves and complexity are back on track.
Bit of push and pull between these two teams, but Complexity coming out the better end of that one is definitely important for their chances at building up some foundations here. But someone that we highlighted coming into this map was Floppy, right? Because he had himself a good map. He really turned up in this last one, and right now he's yet to find a kill. I really think he's got to show up. There was a little bit of frustration, or maybe just some signs of exhaustion or something along those lines. I don't know what it was from Floppy heading into that one. We joked about the rest of the players there having a good old time there. Floppy wasn't really one of them, and so far he's still not having a good time in this map.
I'm somewhat sidetracked by a quick glance at Halser's profile picture that I think is a red X over a frog or something.
What that one is?
I don't even know what that animal is. But I guess that's the key to being a good operator, man. You hate frogs. Maybe not a fan of the people, or rather the people's champ, but still the champ of Complexity as he continues to try to bring these rounds back. Almost does it again, and that almost even lined up for a collateral, but again, they're going to have to try to hold on to this one as the bomb's going down. It's another retake attempt coming in from Complexity with the ops impact potentially very limited.
Nice coverage from Story here. He has a great line of sight to cover off this position. Just actually going to take care of the flank. Yeah, this is exactly what they're going to go for here. Not going to try for this retake. All this one curtains. SA side, it falls quickly flat there. The trio, JT, Grim, and Fang, struggling to hold on. But it will be Floppy and Halsik that are able to walk away with their lives. I mean, you get some chances here in this following round. Although Saul already putting up some decent side numbers.
And they hang on to some guns, but I don't know if that's really going to benefit Complexity in the long run. Like, this is, again, a really good T-sided start. Still, something you just don't see nowadays. Still all here for it. Oh, Chips, I think you're in the wrong server, my friend. Maybe they called in for some assistance, man. Floppy's not having that great of a game. Swap him out mid-game, see if you can't get a quick substitution. As he said, clearly a little bit tired. Let him take a nap. Let him have this one off.
Definitely needs something to start working. Now, luckily, he is one of those players that has held onto a rifle here, so he's really looking to get activated in this round, whether it means that they win the round or not. I think he just wants to get off that 0 mark here. You know what he's capable of?
Don't let it be you, buddy. Don't let it be you.
That would be the case here. Fresh off the back of a very solid victory as well. Struggling early on here. This is kind of different territory for Complexity as well. I feel like they've had good starts all day today. Back-to-back 6-1 leads in both Nuke and Overpass.
Still to no avail, though. At least in the first one. So far, it's not looking that good. And I guess, you know, it's not as poetic as it could be, but potentially even a 6-2 start. It's almost role reversal of where the other teams have been playing against them this entire time. Grim's flank already goes absolutely silent. There's nothing for him to be said in this round, and I do not imagine Complexity are going to be too eager to give up these guns. I think if you're Hall Zurich, you just 100% keep your hands on the AWP. Floppy can make an argument to go in for it, maybe find a couple of kills. Have somebody pick up his gun if he falls, or even potentially get somebody another rifle. But for the most part, it is just Complexity kind of handshaking another round in Saw's favor.
I wouldn't let this one fall at the wayside here. JT sticking around for some exit kills. Bang might be able to help out as well. Getting very deep in on this bomb site, but he will land the headshot. That's quite nice. Bang. Getting another one on the way out. That is absolutely insane. No way he walks away with two. He's going to chase down the rest of them. Eventually will be put to an end, but I mean, better than nothing right there. Walked away with a couple fancy shots.
Yeah, that could have been bad, man. They were lined up for him. He could have very easily found like 2, if not all 3 of them on that save, and not even for their own reasons, but more so to the disavowance of Saw. Would have been huge to take all those guns away from them because, funny enough, usually even though when you're in a situation like this is a T, your money's great, couldn't be more wrong. It's like Story's got some cash to play around with, sure, but everybody else is going to struggle to rebuy, barring they lose their weapons. So kills matter right now for Complexity.
Yeah, you want to be doing some damage here. I feel like many times have we seen Saul just walk into these relatively free and open bomb sites here. And speaking of free and open, it's the real estate towards ramp. They are already stuck in towards things. They've got deep control at the moment, and they're forcing very awkward positions. I don't know if Fang's going to realize that they've already creeped up. Luckily, he gets bailed out big time by JT. Ulrich missing an op shot and will actually get punished for it with the molly that follows up from Story.
And you know there's still a couple of players pinned into the site, so I can imagine they want to try to take them down. A good crunch would do them in right now, and Complexity can't really afford to let this round go by the wayside. The setup, though, it's still not all that great. For the time being, it can, I'd say, successfully counteract what Saw throw at them. They're going to need the kills, though, and you jerks, probably the only person you don't really want to take a 1v1 against, but instead, it's him peeking off with the flash. Ruining the hopes and dreams of Complexity. Grimm's got to pull this back. Ooh. He's just one man. No mere army. Muterus shuts him down. It's 1-for-1 trades around the board, and Floppy, not a shot in hell he's going to make this one doable, but at this point, again, the opportunity costs I talked about in the previous game, you've got to give this one a go-ahead eventually. And a smoke's going to block his vision for the time being with this flank coming all the way around. And U-Jerks has got him posted in. Can't even abuse the one-way as Saw move up to 7 rounds, one away from a converted half. And Floppy is still yet to get on the board.
Last couple of rounds, he just didn't have the option to get on the board either. It feels like just been the entire team collapsing before he ever had access here. But this is frustrating here. CT side, it's bearing very little fruit at the moment. And you can see, trying to keep the composure here is Complexity, trying to remain focused. Got to get the ball rolling, though. They cannot continue to let these rounds fall so flat.
My guy is like eating his monitor. How do you play that close, man? Like I don't know how people do it. It's like Yekindar levels of close. Like, damn, bro.
Whatever it takes, apparently.
Bro, people are like, oh, you don't play on black bars, you play on native? Yeah, because I can see my monitor.
Whatever it takes.
Okay.
So I'll definitely taking some decent rounds so far.
I've got bad news, though. It could happen. Floppy might let it be him.
On towards the A bomb site already. Udrix has completely cleared this one out and has thrown all the utility to allow for his teammates to move on in as well. This is insane map control taken and established. Now they just need to capitalize on it, convert. Rotation's really not arriving onto the scene, at least in terms of trying to hold off this bomb plant. Numbers are going to be punched in here and now.
Is there a flank brewing? No, okay, I guess my eyes just deceived me, but still, this is a 5-on-4 they're going to try to hold on to. Smoke flash to get back into the site, insured. But now they're starting to run out of manpower once again. Floppy leading the charge with the Deagle, and there it falls. Oh, wait, no, he got an assist. Oh, Grimm saved him. No way. The very last second, there will be no James Bond. Even tapping the bomb, JT gets another 1D to add into the equation, but I don't think the round is going to be in contention for all that much longer. Yeah, timing favors the bold for Saw, and with 8 rounds now on the board, they only can go up from here.
Yeah, there's definitely smiles on their faces now. How the turntables have taken place here. Because you can see, I mean, Complexity, they still look relatively relaxed. They don't look like too much stress is on their shoulders, but they might be soon. Smiles on the faces of Saul as they know how important this was. I feel like both rosters need these wins, but Saul coming into this one with a little bit more energy right now.
Oh no. Oh no. You finally get the off back onto the Hulzerk. Your only ace in the hole left. And it's instantly dealt with. Roman, run straight up through your ramp mollies, flashes, and nades just to find an opening pick like that. Floppy's doubled back down on the opposite end of the map, so he's trying to create a presence back for Complexity in this round. But still in doing so, they've not entirely committed, and even if they have, this flank from Rovin's established itself so far that the round's pretty much already forfeit, or never mind, JT. blissfully surprised is Complexity by the fact that they get that kill back, and now they're incentivized to go in for this.
Dodging up that flashbang, though. It's going to be so difficult to clear this angle. And team flash taking place there. Timing a little bit disconnected from the duo. JT, though, still looking to be the hero. Has an opportunity, but bombs dwindle down too far, and Story just going to connect the op shot to convert. It's going to be 2-9. There's been no reply for Complexity here.
Yeah, this does kind of come back into what felt so long ago because of that very long tech pause. But what we talked about coming into this snap, it's like, did you really want to pick Vertigo? Like, I don't know if this was the best course of action. Definitely feels like they could have played this veto a little bit better. Even leaving a map like Inferno in the pool would have definitely benefited them more. But again, this is just the unlucky way of the draw right now, and it kind of feels like Star are about to get themselves a 10th round again, if not more. The most dominant half we've seen today was 10-5, just so you know. And Saw, of all teams who, come into this game potentially facing elimination from playoffs already, might just one-up that.
Oh my god, you jerks able to play around that smoke, but yeah, they definitely are in prime opportunity to do so, unless Complexity have some trick up their sleeve, something to offer. So right now it's been absolutely nothing. Ulzerk has the A1S, but he doesn't have armor to play with. They're looking to deal with this mid control here. Two players moving on in, slowly but surely. Should be able to catch JT off guard, and that's the case. He's just too low.
Dude, look at the individuals, man. Roman, that was crisp. Those two shots into the sight. Sure, one of them was against an unarmored USP, but that kill he gets on Floppy, it's like you just can't respond to that. You don't have a chance. And yeah, with Ulzerk now showing presence on B, this is just a freebie round. Might not even be allowed to escape with this AK, man. They are ruthless right now for Saw. No mercy being given. And for good reason. You give them an inch, they'll take it a mile. They're prone to do that in the past. But with 3 rounds left to go, Saw, they want to make a record of today's dominant half.
And do that starting right here and now. And I think there's a big error right now, a big issue that I'm seeing in Complexity versus the Complexity that I last seen on this map. It's just that I don't feel like they're going at proactive at all. There's no cohesion in this defense. There's no one that's really trying to take space, and in certain occasions they're just willing to give up all of ramp and all of the B side, all of mid. Like, what really map control have you seen them consistently grab here and it work out in their favor?
I think that's a great point. I mean, it's been the issue with them all game, even reiterating it. It's like, it never really feels like Complexity are in control of things right now. I guess maybe they have somewhat of a grasp on the situation, but look at how spread thin their defense is right now. Look everywhere on the map, and there's a 1v1 to be had for Saw, and they have been insane at winning some of these aim duels. Finally, though, Complexity managed to topple them for what looks to be a freebie round at this point, just in the 1v4. Maybe looking to do some extra economic damage. But the nade, I think is pretty much solidified. They know where they are, and I don't know if they're too headstrong on giving up any guns.
Going to toss that Alpha out of the map, make sure that they don't get that one back in their hands. Is probably a wise decision here. Wasn't given any fights on that ramp side, so instead pick up that AK here and try his luck on the follow-up. Gonna walk right into Ulzerk's op, though. And while he has been doing a little bit of missing as of recent, I don't think you can get punished for this one. Just. Yeah, getting you up to the wall right there. And that's going to be a round after long last. It's off the back of what I would have to say is some pretty solid collapsing towards the ramp side here. It's much more cohesive, and they're able to win the duels off the back of it.
Now, hear me out, and call me crazy if you must. But Complexity win this, or I'm sorry, if Complexity end this half 10-5, I think there's a world where they do this. Like, remember their overpass T side and how it started? Remember their nuke T side and how good it looked versus Fnatic? Maybe it's just a T-sided team right now if you're Complexity. Right? Maybe that's all it is. So if you give yourself a fighting chance, which I think 10-5 warrants, it's like maybe you can pull this off. With a couple of kills already dealt, too, it looks like Fang's ready to make that story a possibility. He wants that to be the timeline they're living in. Not a saw can help it. They bring one back, still needing a little bit more that Halzerk won't give. And now it's just basic holds around the map. Don't give them any map control, just let them walk into you, play reserve, play defensive. Make them make the first mistake, and that's I'd say exactly what they're kind of doing. But a mistake is not what just makes. He doubles down on A. You know there's only one here. You know Floppy's a B player, but he's got to pull off the 1v2.
Possibilities just started to enter, though, for Story. If he can chop up these duels here. They've doubled up on this A side, but Story, he needs not to commit right here and now. He has an opportunity to spread that clock out and maybe start to sow some seeds of doubt here. He's just been spotted. And that's the alarm bells alongside some damage.
Going all the way back around the world, he wanted to try to throw the nade. Floppy tucks in. That nade won't kill him, but it'll put him pretty damn close to the edge of despair. Now a smoke thrown into the site. I don't think he's going to be ready for Grim's rotation to have already been pulled in. Yeah, it's him finding through a smoke. So, again, another round added up for Complexity. And this is the only route they can take to try to pull a comeback off. Maybe 11-4 is still workable, but I think that's more so reliant on the pistol round success from that point forward. And we still don't know what Saw's CT side is going to be made out of. Obviously, yeah, the elephant in the room is Complexity's T sides have been what's making them the money all day. But it's an unknown on this stream for Saw. We don't know what they're going to be here to show us in the second half.
Yeah, definitely the case. Although what we've got out of Complexity is a pretty solid T side, so maybe that's something to note. Somehow, Halzerk splitting the difference and not able to escape. JT does offer up a kill of his own, but there's no way he can get out here. Needs some utility, needs a smoke to head his way. He's burning up, he's burning. It's getting hot. He's able to stay alive there somehow. He takes a lot of damage in the meantime, but lucky to walk away with his life.
His life is all he was really looking to hold on to, though, as he just buys time for his team to rotate back and into B. He included, I suppose, but still looks like Complexity are set up well for this. Good kill comes through the wood, but the trades back just includes so much damage being ticked off of the health bars of Complexity right now. One bullet to land on either one of the B defenders, and they'll both fall. Just a little too far in behind his team, but he's going to go sprinting up and into A. 50 seconds to go, and I don't know if they'll be here in time. I think with all the space they've given him, the answer is no, but when you walk up, it only seems inevitable that they catch on to things soon or later. Bomb, though, needs to get planted before you can even think about a post-plant potential clutch. There is, I guess, kits in play, but the utility is sparse. In fact, it's non-existent. So Complexity will have to be another retake attempt.
Make it work here. Just 1-on-2. He's able to get himself into a nice established post-plant position as well before the retake efforts do start from JT and Fang. Laying out towards side hall. Gonna be tricky to deal with. He's clearing out this flank as well, so a couple things going his way right now in this retake.
Still JT, so low, taps the bomb, and even goes on an individual mission right now. Again, all it takes is one bullet to shut him down, and he knows that's the diffuser. He didn't see anybody else in the bomb. Bang, making noise, and he jumps into the headshot of just a beautiful finish there on the AK, and I thought it was gonna be a bit worrying right after they didn't actually go in V after the flash was perfect from Floppy and they peeked back up from the wood wall. I thought that Complexity had their number written, but it
fall flat here. We could see some energy, but it has to start here and it has to start quickly because they are running out of space.
That is the problem, right? While Complexity's T side is something to be gotten right and know about, it's more so on the fact that if they lose the pistol, they won't ever get that breathing room. They won't ever get that space to wake up. So it's kind of do or die right now. With this all being a ruse, an attempted B plot coming through as soon as they make the contact necessary over at the ramp side. Story is not going to leave his post just yet. In fact, jiggling, waiting for contact to be taken elsewhere. Bomb currently on the back of Grim, but very well assisted in the likes of Fangs and Floppy.
I'm just going to walk on in towards B, but or rather A, there is presence here. And the bomb now moving in towards B, and they're fighting both sites. Both successful opening picks there. They can start to make a round out of this one, start to make a comeback here off the back of a pistol. Grim going to trade things up. These duelers proven to be a serious problem here. A 2v3 retake. It could really lend itself to close things out. Complexity in a good position, but they still have to finish.
Finishing parts can be everything. We talk about a team's ending struggles, but it doesn't seem like that's existent here. Grim on a 4K shutdown on the pistol. Not heard much of him this game, huh, have we? So I guess it's a good turn of pace for Complexity. You get to start this half off strong.
That it is. Right now, we have to see some of the individuals rising to the occasion. Right now, JT's decided to have himself a good map, and I feel like when that's taking place, you really want to see some of the extra elements of Complexity show up. And that hasn't necessarily been what's been happening here at the moment. JT sitting at 15 frags, top of the charts for his team. You got some of the other members here that need to chirp up as well. Floppy, well, he might not be one of them in this round.
Oh my
taking
God.
a lot of damage. This is just so much from U-Jerks. And the combination of the scout, Floppy down low, they find very little in reply. Not a kill though either. U-Jerks is gonna get out safely.
I'm just worried about this other HE coming through from Just. It depends. Like, if they end up running into A and you stall them for enough time, this nade is going to come through and have a bit of an impact. But speaking of impact, U-Jerks does that tenfold. This guy walked into that ramp fight with 13 HP, still walked out the victor of yet another aim duel. Hulzerk, he's got his teammates straight, but they are still down by one man. The rotation's pulled back through. Just sitting in elevator, awaiting his prey to waltz in. And they hear this reload. They know they're still here. It's just all about shutting it down now. Scout in play still as they've both been tagged. Grim on 1 HP this round. Majority falls onto what Hulzer can or can't do. Peeking wide, he's got the right idea. And now it's Just the 1v2. Still has an HE left in play. And if well placed, it can do a world of hurt to Complexity.
Yeah, it could put Hulzer into 1 HP. It could make that deagle really work, given Grim's low HP as well. All depends on who's going to be planting the bomb. It looks like it's just been tossed over to Grim here. I don't think they'll anticipate an HE right now, right? This late into the round, but Grim fakes it. Oh, so wise, but he walks back into it, takes a little bit of flak. Hulzerk has coverage.
The thing is, too, that nade was bad. Like, that was a bad lineup coming through from Just. Grim did fake it out, expecting something like a nade to come through, but he walked back into it. And if the nade was better placed, he's not getting that bomb down. It's 1v1. Hulzerk's got to bear the burden of getting the plant in. But it's not one they have to worry about just yet. Force by does not go to the hopes and dreams of Saw's intentions. Now they take the save and give Complexity what the should be 7th.
The old Zonix law in order here if they can't close things out here, Saw. Issues going to be arising quickly, but again, plenty of damage to be done, and they're walking in.
No way!
Side. They're going to continue to just try and press the issue to brute force their way in towards B. They've finally been deterred, but the damage is already done and very little is given in return. And it's not like they have all of the world on A to work with. It's just now Hulzerk starting to crawl up towards ramp. And they've taken very minimal space.
Yeah, but again, this is rifles v pistols. While there are a couple of low targets, I can't imagine they're the ones leading the charge. And even exchanging guns hands. Don't want to let your big boy rifles fall because of a couple of low bars. And they've still yet to rotate anything in other than a couple of these pistols. Only one Deagle is here to try to contend, so unless Muterus hits some barn burner of a 1D, this round still should be going the way of Complexity. I think he's just trying to get a timing spam off on the cards. Okay, well, barely missing the mark, but yeah, the right idea. Hulzerk's idea is better, though, as he spams him down through the construction panel. And yeah, now this one is just going to end up the way of Saw, or other Complexity.
I don't really have any business making too much effort into this one, but that's one of the higher HP bars taken down there. Grim going to hit the deck, and now Floppy, JT, and Fang all very low. This retake, I don't like their odds, especially with no kit, but if they could find even more damage, that would be quite nice. Udrix making his endeavors in towards the site there. It's going to be JT to fall here. Again, very low on HP. They're all forced to swing. That's going to really favor likes the Complexity. These headshot angles the same, and Floppy to close things out, starting to get warmed up here. And now they grab a 7.
It's locked in. It's on the board, but now Saw get the big boy guns out, including the AWP on Story. He was off to a bit of a hot start, so he's slowed down like big time. Remember, he had 6 kills coming into the 5th round, and now we're just shy of 20 rounds deep. So in 15 rounds amongst that, he's gotten 7 kills. That's not that great.
Not that great indeed. This establishing a lot of mid dominance here and unable to do too much damage there, surprisingly so. There you go. That's much more like Udrix. He's been consistently fighting out towards side hall. This is something that we've been missing out of Complexity's ramp defense, but maybe hanging around a little bit too long. It's Halzerk that gets his revenge on the ramp control here, but how long will it live? Not too much longer. Roman will zone in. Be able to spam him out.
Shooing and gluing with that kill coming back, and it's forced Complexity into a very awkward B take, I'd argue. Just still here with utility to shut them down. And I like the way they're playing this. This makes sense, right? Because as soon as they throw in this B-sided utility, Justice got the smoke to delay them. They come through it. They're probably getting multi-killed. They waited out, and the rotations are going to be coming back through from Saw to try to shut down this B take. And they don't have that much utility to do anything more than just the one site take. Yeah, smoke instantly deployed. And now even trying to demand up the respect. Nade is almost perfect on the money. And they've still yet to crack into the barrier. The bomb site flash doesn't go where they would have intended, and with it, Grim's gonna double down. Bomb dropped in the open, and they all start swinging from the fences here, but the kills don't line up. Even looking for more when it comes to the flash assist. They know where Grim is, stuck at the back of the quad pillar. It's all up to Roman, the 1v1, and Grim won't let it slip. On a mere 4 HP, Complexity continue to hang on, and this T side is looking a bit scary.
Oh, that's an incredible momentum builder right there. They got to be very happy with that closer. Right where you want Grim to be. Starting to pull rounds across the finish line right there. Off the back of some nice shots from JT as well. An unlikely hero for this team, but man, oh man, is he continuing to deliver in the second half as well. And now, Saw, their lead is quickly waning down, slowly but surely. We now move the distance to 3 middle control. This is all being heard here from Complexity, but well, it's known here. There's not really much you can do about it, at least safely. They could be everywhere. They could be anywhere in this T-spawn area, so you got to be careful the way you play this one out.
And cautious as ever, they know how easily it feels like they can make some of these mistakes. We saw so many of these eco rounds get so close because of those lackluster pushes from Complexity, because of the bad spacing, but this time while the opening pick goes against them, doesn't bode very well for Saw in the long run. It's just on an MP9, but don't really imagine he's going to get all that much done. Good kill on the first, though, with JT on half HP. If Floppy wasn't there in time, things could have gone very easily haywire / south, but nah, they hang on again. And it's Complexity now on 9, 2 away from striking a tie game.
I mean, it's been so quick, though, the way that they've been able to get back into this game. It's a pistol conversion. It's a couple nice clutches. It's some nice shooting from JT, Grim, all the likely characters, and maybe even some unlikely characters showing up into the server here to get us to this point. In a matchup that I didn't know if it was going to be even close here at the turn of the half. So I was starting to feel a little bit of that pressure. I mean, coming into this series, we talked about how sometimes it can be difficult for both of these teams to close out. And that's kind of the case that we're getting out of Saw here. At a hefty lead. And on the CT side, they have yet to win a round.
They got to change that soon, man. The guns are going to come back out, but if you lose this one, then that massive lead, all that hard work you did in the first half, it's for nothing. At least they've got the open play again on Story, but they've got to do something, I'd argue, fairly aggressive with it, man. That's another thing that you can get stuck in this sort of momentum building against you situation, right? Where you're too scared to go for these individually aggressive peaks. You're too scared to put the op in a position to potentially get an opening pick because you would rather just have him stay alive for a site hold than potentially die going in for one of those openers.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you know, Udrix, who's been feeling so confident in the side hall and honestly doing a lot of damage in that position, maybe less so in this round as he's not so interested. They're playing a more passive approach towards this ramp control here. And in that, Complexity have taken a lot of space already. There's still 1 minute and 7 left on the clock here, so ample time to work with here. But with this ground already posted up from Fang, opportunities could arise. The aggression looks certain.
Though I'd imagine Saw might do, yeah, I was going to say they have to make some aggressive play that I feel like Complexity are ready for, but at the same time, JT actually falls victim. Now, while the rotations are going to come through Complexity, they had the alternative of potentially going into B if things did go haywire, which, you know, they did. But now they got to fight their way back into this round, in which Halzerk and Fang have just done 2 on 4, even though Grim's low. I don't really think it's going to matter all that much. Razor thin tripwire shot that Story won't drop. Now you got to get this planting. You've got to ensure that Grim can actually punch in the digits, even pushing up and through the smoke. Muterus, a 1-for-1 trade. You'll take that at this rate. And now it's all up to Fang. choreographing where he's coming in from with the flashbang. It's against an AWP too, so this is probably the worst case situation. 10 seconds, you've got to cross into the site, just holding it passively. Oh, Story spotted him on the cross. 6 seconds to go, taps the bomb, sees the jump in CT spawn, and he didn't even have to give him the peek, but Story does it anyway. Saw barely staying out in front, and now Saw are starting to feel themselves a little bit more. Even though it's been so long since they found success, all they need is one to get themselves going.
That's a flashy shot right there from Story, and a frustrating loss there. Finally, Clutch is going their way instead. And man, is it welcomed. You can see smiles returning onto the faces of Saul's CT side. And in that Clutch victory, though, immediately it's going to lead in towards a lacking purchase here. So Complexity, close rounds come calling. And the op shots don't stop here, continuing to rain down terror. Same thing. The MP9 cashing up some checks here. JT again showing his ability, but this will all be shut down quickly as ever.
And just like that, Saw, they finally broken the streak and they've broken Complexity's hopes and dreams. They got, what, 5 rounds in a row? But you also have to remember it was off a pistol win. Shenanigans and heebie-jeebies past that kind of shadow over the fact that Saw had this massive lead. I am a firm hater of Zonic's Law, and this is why.
But back to the rifles here once again. Complexity looking to have the success. What is this? Spam Roman! 100-0 on the Fang. Straight through the yellow tarp. Nothing you can do about that right there. You're just incredibly unlucky and great preparation. I don't know if that's some sort of lineup that he's been working on, but either way, it works out for the opening pick. And U-Jerk, he's so tricky with how he plays these angles. He even finds another. He cannot be tamed. This is what I mean. They've unleashed a beast on Saul when they found U-Jerks, and he does not stop delivering.
Yeah, it's hard to deal with him in the first place. It's also harder to deal with him when he's got the best gun in the game on his back. Now they go popping up and into B. There's not that much put up for the defense. It's only 2 MP9s, so it's not like they can't get this held, at least, or maybe mount a bomb plant out of this, but not clearing the angles will pretty much do you in there. Grim, he's the only one to find a kill behind the generators, and with that in mind, Saw have shut them down once more, have pretty much demanded and forced their hand for another eco, and potentially just pulled this across the finish. This is a save call from Complexity. There's going to be 6 chances for Saw to finally get their first win of the group stage.
Unlikely candidates to go up against. I was thinking Complexity would be able to carry some of that form over from the Fnatic victory, but that might not be the case right now. That might not be the safety that we're getting out of them. Definitely doesn't seem to be. Slowed down the hit of the wall, and that wall goes back of Roman, and U-Jerk's on this A bomb site looking to offer up another sturdy defense. And look at the utility damage. It doesn't stop. It continues, but in their endeavor, they do a lot. Kills in return. There's his 2 ATs though that rained down.
I mean, you have to give Complexity credit. Like, their ecos are so good. It feels like every single time they have the pistols out, even though you come into the round understanding they shouldn't be winning it, they probably aren't going to win it, and you could pretty much count them to lose it. Like, they always make it close. They always make you second guess yourself. Are they going to do this? Are they going to pull this one across the finish? And every time it's unfortunately the same outcome, where it's so close, yeah, so far, but this time it feels a bit different as they put this into a 1v2. And now the Clutch has to go back against them. JT might get timing, and I think he knows where both of the remaining players are. Just, if he can shut down JT, then Fang is stuck on an island, and he cannot escape except in to fight him. And just won't drop it. There's another Clutch going back against them. Complexity, again, so close. They even bring it to a post plant. But it's a Clutch coming back against them that locks Saw into map point.
That's everything right there. Just another Clutch to add to the tally here for Saw's favor. And while it does come down to the wire, I don't know if it's going to matter at the end of the day here, because now Complexity's backs are against the wall. They really were hoping that they could claim that round, because if they did, the prospects of them still being able to close out this map and regulation is so promising. But that has just slipped through their fingertips. And now they're calling a couple of pauses to keep them even alive in this game.
Got to figure it out somehow, man. You are pretty much out of time. I mean, you kind of are. Last buy to come through, and if Saw have got one trick up their sleeve that'll overcome Complexity, then there it falls. Again, this is an insane sight to see, considering, again, it might feel so long ago, but they just had one of their most convincing results ever against Fnatic. 16-6. And then it turns to this. Saw upset Demons, apparently, ready to make their playoff run.
Ooh, and things don't look any better there. Fang once again sidelined. It's not U-Jerks going on the aggression, though. It's Roman. He's been having his number every step of the way, whether he has vision on him or not. 4-on-5, though. They're just going to try their luck towards the B side. They've tried this a couple of times, and they've found access before, but this time there's a whole lot more presence here. There's a lot of Molly's Hellfire on this B ramp.
It's kind of relentless right now with the utility usage. Thankfully, JT's brought a kill back, but at what cost? You've lost your IGL's life, and while you do still have a couple of fraggers still left alive in the server, do you really want to leave your entire hopes and dreams of this game up to a potential disadvantage? I don't know if that's the greatest idea. But, I don't know. It seems like they're kind of stuck in limbo right now. Floppy going to get a boost to top his boy. But he won't be spotting anything out just yet. Story still hard-pressed with the AWP, so as soon as they go in, problems will start to arise. Flash goes high, Story turns away from it for the time being. This time they'll clear out the corner, and Muterus won't get away with anything all that sneaky. Pop still posted up on the cross as U-Jerks is here with him, doubling down. That might just be it. Holzrick in the 1v3, but if there's anybody who could pull it off, seems like it's him. 30 seconds to go, the bomb being stuck, and Nade dunks in atop of his head, and even getting caught on the cross. Roman's got the better of the two angles, and it's an upset of a lifetime for Saw, who shut down Complexity, not even allowing double digits, and a 16-9 stomping on Vertigo. They show they are the better team.
Yeah, that wins big time right there. Able to close things down in big fashion, claim their first win here in Espoo. It's got to feel so good for Saw.
And hopefully the beginning of many more.